And this looks like the last question. I'm trying to be a good libertarian, but we just started up on our light rail system earlier this year. I love it. I used to commute to work and take it to bars, to the bar on weekends, so I don't drive drunk. But light rail was a big public works project which took millions of taxpayers' money from the three cities, from the three different cities in the federal government. Unfortunately, I can't imagine a scenario where something like light rail would have been built by a free market. How can I enjoy this prospect and still be a good libertarian? I hope you always feel agitated about it. That's what I hope. Because, you know, the Metro in D.C. has been around for a long time. I've never been on it, and I don't plan to get on it. It's not that all of us can avoid government subsidized things. I do use the post office because there's no good alternative. So, and I do go on highways, and you know, they are paid for by the highways. But I've thought a lot about this, and I think what would have happened if we'd have never had some of these this government interference. First, if you didn't have government subsidized highways, or at least at the federal level, and give all these wonderful super highways sailing from city to city and downtown, excuse me, there would have been a greater incentive for the market to develop transits, you know, trains going back and forth. Before the government got involved, before Penn Central and these other railroads were destroyed by regulations and union wages and feather bedding, we did have private transportation. By subsidizing highways and destroying mass transit, we ended up with this monstrosity. So I can see that you say, well, this is a benefit, but let me tell you, if you see some benefit by the government coming in, you have to question one thing. It was wasteful spending because they're spending more money than they get back for it. In Washington, I don't know what the numbers are, but it might be 50% or 100% higher in cost than the people pay for it. So it's always being subsidized at other people's expense. So in a moral sense, it's wrong for the people that never use the railroad to subsidize the people who use it. If it had been developed privately, it would have been done by market decisions. And I suspect we would have had less fancy highways, more mass transits. We probably would have had some statewide, maybe even interstate highways that would have been privately owned. Probably our cars would have been carried on cars. You could put your cars on a railroad train and ride 2,000 miles and then take your car off. There have been all kinds of things that they could have developed. But once the politicians get involved, then it becomes a political football. And today we have a highway tax. We send it up to Washington. They spend it on other things. The highway trust system then has to get money from somewhere else. And the money, instead of going back proportionally to the states who paid the taxes, they send it back on your political clout in Washington. And then you have to fight for getting a couple dollars back. So it's a rotten system. In the marketplace, that money would go, it would be what you would like best. If you would like railroads more, you'd have pumped more money into railroads. If you wanted highways, you would have been charged to use your highways. But when everything is free and the government gives it to you, then things get distorted. That doesn't mean that every road and highway would have been a toll road, but there would have been. Now there are a lot of government toll roads because it does provide a little bit of a market incentive. You pay a little bit more, you get a better ride. So that's sort of trying to encroach and take a little bit of the market incentive. But all that would have been so much better than the system that we have developed. But nevertheless, I was kidding when I said, I hope I make you uncomfortable, but we all should be a little bit uncomfortable. We should be uncomfortable when we think we're getting benefits because it will motivate us to try to think these things through and come up with alternative ideas. So I'm just so convinced, though, that all these problems, from evolution to railroads to highways to medical care, they can be solved in a non-controversial way in a free market. Freedom really does bring people together. It's non-confrontational. The marriage issue is a perfect example. Don't dictate, don't define, don't tell other people, but don't allow other people to impose them on us. You know, that's the way it should be. It should be freedom of choice. And believe me, the world would be a much happier place. And that's why I was so pleased in the campaign, because when we would get groups of people together to the tune of thousands, believe me, they were very diverse. And I think they understood this message very well. And thank you for listening. This is the new book that I've written. It will be coming out on September 16th. And we're looking forward to a lot of excitement with this, especially since the monetary issue is forefront and the audit in the Fed is forefront. So we're looking for a book bomb on the 16th, and people who want to pre-order would be very helpful, either with Barnes & Noble or with Amazon.com. I would appreciate it.